Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SSL Gold Cup. This is the second test event, and today we will have the small final and the big final. This is the final day of racing, and today will determine who will win this second ever test event of the SSL Gold Cup. But before we get into things, let's take a look at what happened yesterday.
We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
The day started out slow in Grandson, Switzerland, for the last day of the qualification of the second SSL test event. One light wind race for Fleet 2, won by Switzerland, with Croatia following in second. Battle for the best of the Fleet 2 had started the day before and will not finish here. Argentina finished third and Estonia closed the group. The race committee decided to swap teams instead of having two back-to-back races for each fleet, as the wind wasn't looking so promising. So Fleet 1 was on the starting line in no time, and by the third leg, the wind picked up and the asymmetrical spinnakers were fully pushing the SSL 47s in full speed mode. Brazil won their 6th race in a row. In second place and close behind was Hungary, then Israel and Oman. As the wind was filling in, the race committee gave another start to Fleet 1, with Fleet 2 ready to go right after. Brazil scored another bullet, making it an all first-place score sheet for the Brazilian Storm winner of the qualifying series in Fleet 1.
It's amazing what we achieved to this group, to here with the maneuvering and everything. We're really happy having won every single race of the qualifying, but we know that the real game is tomorrow.
Hungary, Oman, and Israel finished the race 7, and the overall, respectively, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Hungary will go into the final with Brazil and the top 2 teams of Fleet 2.
It was a very tough game, so we were very close to get out from the final, and we could come back, so we are very happy about that.
Race 7 for the Fleet 2 started with a nice steady breeze on about 12 knots around 4 p.m. 40 minutes later, Croatia was crossing the line in first place. Argentina closed the series with a 2nd place, and Estonia closes in 4th. The 4 teams that will meet on the final day for the grand finale are Brazil, Croatia, Hungary, and Switzerland.
Feels great. We just enjoy sailing here, and we improved our sailing day by day by little details on the boat, trimming the boat, finding the right speed, and now we feel confident and we are just waiting tomorrow to start.
Feels good, of course. It was the first goal we had in the team to make that cut. Yeah, we started very well in the series and could rely on that, and we had a very good crew work, and finally we are in, which is most important.
They will race after the petite final with Oman, Argentina, Israel, and Estonia, starting at 11 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So as you saw what happened, the action on the water yesterday was a pretty intense day, making sure that everybody could qualify themselves for today, the big day. We'll be starting out with the petite final and then going on to the grand final later on today. But joining me today in the commentary booth, we have Ali Al-Balushi coming from Team Oman. And Ali, welcome. And it's looking like it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, looking forward for it. Seems to be a very consistent day and very difficult for sure. The breeze looks a bit light, but I think it's going to be very interesting, and hopefully we'll see some good racing.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit light. As usual, the wind starts to fill in around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning here local time. And the teams have been out, and they're your comrades right there.
Yeah, this seems to be very focused and exciting for sure. And yeah, they seems to be very ready and looking forward.
Yeah, for the time being, we can see we're 3 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. So everybody's getting ready to take that start. Race committee have told us, have given us a little bit of info. We've got 1.1 nautical miles to the top mark, which makes it about a 2 kilometer, maybe a little bit under 2 kilometer length for the for today's track. And the track, the wind is coming in from 260, so that's pretty much due west.
Yep. Yeah.
And we're at 3 minutes to the start. We're looking at Team Argentina, which is over here. And we're about to get ready. We're about to get started. Oh, yes. So here we go. We're panning out on the wide picture here, trying to see, looking at what's happening. Got all the boats are circling around. Ali, what do you do about 3 minutes to the beginning of the race?
Well, we're basically trying to find the best spot where we're gonna start during the race, and the good procedure and the time and distance between the where you are and where is the starting line. So it's gonna be very intense and very important moment. This is where you decide where to go and where you have to be during the start.
Yeah, getting a good start is obviously going to be very important.
Yeah, I think in this kind of condition it's very important to have a good start because it's very light and tricky. So I guess, and I hope everybody find a good spot to do a good start during the race.
Yeah, and when you say a good start, we saw yesterday that the teams that were actually able to not perhaps be the first one to cross the line, but the ones to be able to cross the line with the most amount of speed,
for sure,
were able to get into what we call that low mode, which it's basically, it's a drag race off the line. It's whoever can get out there and can get some fresh air, some clean wind, as we call it. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it's very important to have a good wind, as you mentioned, and to have a good time and distance, and then you are off you go.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw yesterday, I mean, we saw you guys, I believe you were on the boat yesterday. It was pretty tough. One of your starts, you got squeezed in between two boats.
Yeah.
And we saw that again happen yesterday in the very last race with Argentina, and they quickly decided to tack and get out of that situation. So we're going to be looking at that, and we're going to be seeing who's squeezing the other boat out. Obviously, we saw yesterday that the boat, which is the furthest to leeward, has the possibility to stop all the other boats from coming down, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing Argentina, which is bearing away, and Oman, which is behind. Argentina is being blocked right now by Estonia.
Yeah.
And Estonia, we see it right there. They're stopping everybody. They're slowing everybody down, and they're keeping enough distance underneath themselves where they can just start up and just go on fully. We see that we have one more boat in the back, which is trying to squeeze in behind Estonia, and that's Israel. So Israel, we see, is now lining themselves up, and all they have to do is bear away. We got 20 seconds left. They're stopping everybody, and now is time where they want to go. There we go. Here we go. Israel is down. They're going to get the most amount of speed. It's looking like it's going to be a great start for Israel. And now here comes Estonia. And we've got Oman 2-1. It looks like a good start. That was a very, very close start.
Yeah, it looks to be very good start and very good trigger line on from the three boats who started a bit ahead, but unfortunately Oman is a bit behind, which is a bit sad. But for sure, I think once the guys have a good wind and consistency after the start, they will be finding the good gap to start with.
Yeah, we're looking at Israel right now, which is which we saw had the most amount of speed. I'm wondering if they're not going to be able to get away. Are they in that low mode right now? Or are they going to be able to get out?
Yeah, I think Oman seems to be a bit ahead at the moment on the right side, but it looks a bit different wind from them. But for sure, Argentina and Israel, they are a bit more on the left side, so they have more advantage to be a bit more leeward and a bit more clear air.
Well, all that's very exciting, and so we have some more exciting news. Joining us here in the commentary booth, we have Linda Farney from Switzerland, and an exceptional sailor. She was in the Olympics, in the Tokyo Olympics, and she got a very, very respectable 4th place, and she's 3rd at the 470 Women Europeans in 2021. So welcome, Linda. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Sorry for the delay. I was just with the team on shore. They are waiting, so I didn't get that race is already started. So I'm a bit late, but
that's
nice
all right.
to be here.
It's not a problem. You're with us. The race just started. You were settling in as they were getting going, and now we'll just have time to concentrate on what's going on out on the water for our petite finale. So basically, let's wrap this up. If what we're seeing here today, whoever is finishing first here is going to be 4th overall.
For sure.
So that's what's
5th overall.
5th overall. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Overall.
5th overall, and then this afternoon we'll go into the big final, which will be Brazil, Switzerland, Croatia, and Hungary. But right now, let's focus on what's happening.
Yeah.
So we see here that we have the Genoa out, which is the biggest forward sail that you have on these SSL 47s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we could just see that right down there. It looks like a jib cart. We can see there's numbers down in the bottom. That allows the team to be able to adjust the sail depending on the puffs, depending on how much wind is coming, so they can move that track forward and backwards. And change the sail. If we look at the main track, which is right there, you're seeing he's pulling onto a rope, and that's basically doing the same thing, but for the mainsail. So these guys, they're not just sitting out there, they're not just hanging out, they're having to work on those sails.
Yeah, they are trimming all the time the chip and the main. It's like every 10 seconds you move because it's gusty, and you just adapt the sails as fast as possible to the wind.
Yeah, and when we say, adapting and to the gust, it basically means that when we get a gust, when we get a little bit more wind, we try to ease that pressure that's into the sail, and when we get a little bit less wind, we try to create a little bit more pressure into the sail.
Because it's not good to heel the boat too much. In this boat, I think it's pretty extreme that when the boat is heeling too much, it's just going sideways. So it's in stronger wind, it's hard to be not too much overpowered and to get as much power, but not too much, because the boat is then too much heeled and you.
Yeah, exactly. What we call riding moment.
Yeah.
Right. So the flatter the boat is, the more sail is going to be shown to the wind, pretty much, and the faster you can go.
Yeah.
I think in this kind of condition, it's more about communication between the main trimmer and the jib and the driver. So the more communication you have, the better you will feel in the boat speed.
Yeah, anyway, communication, I just realized, because I'm not used to sail on big boats like this, so with 9 persons, it's crazy, because you need to be really clear in communication, because everyone has this job, but we are all not really used to the boat, so we are all new, so it's really hard to define the job and to be clear in communication between helm and tactic and main and chip. So
yeah, that's funny that you say that, because I was speaking yesterday with Team Brazil, and they were saying the same thing. They were saying, we might have how many Olympic medals do they have on that boat? I think they have 7 Olympic medals. They're saying, it's so tough because everybody's so good. Yeah. And, one person saying, let's go to the left, another one person saying, let's go to the right. In the end, somebody's got to make a decision.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's really what's interesting about bringing all these guys that are from the same country, that have always been competing against one another.
Yeah.
And now they have to work together.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's a big challenge, because as well there are a lot of helmets, like normally steering the boat, and here they are now doing other jobs on the boat. So it's like it's sometimes hard to like focus on really your job to like just do what are you
what you're supposed to do and not start like looking at what everybody else is doing. Yeah.
So it's this one.
I guess that is the job of a helmsman, right? He's in charge of the boat. He's looking at what everybody's doing. He's calling out and then all of a sudden now somebody else is telling you what you have to do. So
yeah.
For sure. I think it's changing all the time during the upwind and downwind. For sure, as they are now going upwind, there is a lot of communication going for the upwind, and then it's going to be changing as well during the downwind and the mark rounding as well.
Yeah, we were talking about communication. We were talking about a little bit about tactics and strategy. Obviously, tactics being what we use when we're actually racing against one another. The strategy is more of the game plan before we get out on the water. And we see in the tactics that the downwind tactic is pretty much based on the upwind tactic. I mean, when you're going upwind, you're already thinking about what you're going to be doing next.
For sure.
Downwind.
Yeah.
And you as well, like you think like on downwind what happened on upwind, because you can mostly like take this information from upwind, where is more wind, where are the patches, like you take this information to the downwind and you do as well decisions on the information you have from the upwind.
Yeah,
so
it gives you, it basically allows you to know which side of the...
Now it's going to be probably an interesting cross between Estonia and Argentina. It looks like normally Argentina should be in front, but it's just 1 meter, so and they are coming,
Okay, so right now,
sure.
Argentina does not have the right of way, so they're going to have to bear away and pass behind that boat.
It's not. Was not really a bear. Maybe they bear away.
It's a little bit of a bear away.
Oh yeah, it's Oman.
Yeah.
Is that Oman?
Oman just crossed in front of Argentina.
So the first 3 boats are pretty close together.
I think there's a big fight going on between the top 3 at the moment.
It kind of looks like they've been heading out on the right. And Israel over there, all the way on the right, they're taking more of a risk. I mean, they're gonna see if that's gonna
probably they struggle a bit with boat speed. It looks like after the start that they lose a bit the line. So maybe they try to get something else. Then they cannot do. I mean they cannot play their boat speed. Now it's interesting that Oman is just tack under or in
Estonia.
front of Estonia, and we will see if they influence each other because of the
wind
air
that's coming off of the sails of Oman and disturbing sort of Estonia, which is
it's going to be because it's just few meters. And yesterday. Now they are attacking, or I don't know. We had just yesterday the same situation with Argentina on the left ley line, and it's a pain to stay there and to try to stay close to the
they were
boat
stuck.
in front.
They were stuck. Yeah, you can't go into the low mode because you're just gonna slow down.
Yeah.
You're gonna fall behind the boat that's in front of you. You can't go into high mode because you're just gonna slow down as well.
For sure.
So it's a very good tactical move here
from
by
Oman. They put maybe they now lose a bit the line from Argentina, but
what's interesting afterwards, if Argentina attacks and if they have a left shift afterwards, they might be crossing as well, Oman, afterwards.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Even though the winds are light, with these super powerful boats, I mean, it makes this is the game. This is the game of sailing.
This moment is the very tricky moment here, as you can see. As I mentioned, Argentina is starboard.
Yeah.
And
now
because
they need
they're on
to bear away.
Oh, they're bearing away.
Both bearing away.
Both bearing away.
So they want to. It's Argentina, no?
Argentina,
that they want to. It's Estonia.
Yeah.
So they wanted to.
That was Argentina. It was Argentina.
Sorry,
Argentina had the right of way.
Both blue. Yeah, and they pressed them to the left side.
Exactly.
Because they wanted to have them on their leeward. So now
Oman has overlap here, and if they can actually make it, they will have the right of way inside. So there we go. Oman now has room for inside. There you go. And Argentina has to keep clear, so they've got to give a little bit of room to Oman. Oman is doesn't want to turn too quickly. They want to keep that speed up and just come down.
Now the hoist, it's a difficult hoist for Argentina, I would say, because they just have the boat leeward, but probably they are behind.
Yeah, it's a difficult hoist because it's easier to hoist when you can be sort of on a run, as opposed to having to hoist the sail when the boat is more on a broad reach. So. And that's exactly what Oman is doing. They're making it difficult for Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look who's coming behind.
Argentina seems to have a good hoist as well, because they popped and flight the spinnaker right after hoisting. So I think they also have a good hoist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see Estonia, which is attacking
is
behind.
Super close behind.
There we go.
So very tight racing for sure.
Yeah. Also, both are chiming.
Okay.
But I think
Oman keep going still on the right.
Oh, it looks like we're having issues with Estonia on their kite. And that's Israel. Israel now is getting to the dogleg, to the bearway mark.
There are too many blue on this race. Too many blue bips on this race.
That's why we're getting a bit of confused in the top mark.
Good thing we have Oman, huh? So what's happening now is basically we see the boat that's behind is trying to steal the wind, is trying to get in between the axis of the wind and the boat that's in front of them in order to steal their wind. So we were saying yesterday that being behind is not a good thing, but it has some advantages. One of those advantages being that the wind comes from behind, so they're the first ones to get that wind.
Yeah, and to make sure that to make a good decision afterwards.
Exactly, and they can catch up, and they can actually steal the wind of the boat that's in front.
Sure.
So now another thing that's really interesting about the downwinds is that we were talking about winning the battle. Winning the war and not the battle. I mean, if Estonia and Argentina go off and have their own little fight, I mean, they're potentially leaving room for Oman to leave, to get away, and Israel to come back. So they're trying to protect themselves. But if they fight too much, they're going to lose too much speed, and everybody and the last boat is going to come back, and the first boat's going to go away. So. It's a very delicate game of keeping your speed, trying to catch the others, but keeping everybody else in check.
Yeah.
I think what is important as well in this kind of condition to find the best angle and the best VMG to be fast in the downwind, because in this kind of tricky condition and light patch spot, this is the key moment and key point as well.
Yeah. So here it's again really important that everyone is like looking for his job. So tactics is maybe looking around, but the skipper is like focusing on his game with the pressure together with the person on the kite.
Yeah.
So it's really small details that makes the boat fast.
Yeah,
as you can
really
see
important.
in Team Oman as well now with the trimmer and the grinder, there is a lot of communication going on during the downwind as well.
Yeah, so explain to us. I mean, what do you say? What are they saying?
So for sure, it's more about what the lot of pressure you have in the kite. So he's actually finding the best pressure on his hand and with the sheet. So the grinder is just mostly listening to him and grinding on the right moment for sure for him.
Yeah, so when they have the pressure, that means at that point, what it allows the skipper to do is to be able to bear away, right?
Bear away and to squeeze down as long as you have a good pressure as well.
Right. So we're looking to be fast and to be fast downwind, which it's tough because we know that when you go downwind, you lose speed.
Yeah.
So you got to be fast downwind. So always looking for that pressure in the spinnaker.
And as soon for sure, as soon the pressure the more pressure he have in the downwind, the trimmer, the lowest the helmsman can go down.
Yeah, and the less distance there is between them and the buoy. So those three, they're just absolutely concentrated on what's going on.
Yeah.
And then we have the tactician in the back who's looking at what's going on behind them.
Yeah.
But now Argentina have a pretty safe position, so don't need to be really afraid that the other one is covering.
So you see on the right there, he's easing that sheet. So right now, so he eased the sheet, and then he says pressure, and then Facundo, which is in the middle there, he's grinding.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're looking for is, there we go. So he's grinding again. So now and soon he's going to ease again. So he's going to ease the pressure, try to be able to bear away, and then grind again. And it's a constant work of easing, sheeting in, sheeting out, grinding, bearing away. And you see that they're really concentrated. I mean, look at where they're looking. They're all looking at the kite. Those two are looking at the kite. The two behind them are looking at what's going on. We got the mainsail trimmer as well.
Yeah.
He's making sure that wind is getting all the way to the back of that sail. All right, he's putting on a
Somebody
little
as well
pressure.
have a role as well in the boat. He's mostly looking and calling the pressure during the downwind, because it's a bit more easier for the trimmer to feel the wind and when he can ease it and when he can trim it back on.
Yeah, it also, knowing that you have some more pressure, you know that, well, I can bear away for quite a while. I can keep that low angle. And that's because obviously they're so concentrated on looking up. I mean, we're talking 170 square meters of sail.
It's huge.
I mean, it's a big sail.
It's really good,
That's absolutely crazy. And the mainsail, is 70 square meters. So there's 240 square meters of sail up there.
Yeah.
And they got to make sure that all that is set correctly.
And flying well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And just so you guys realize a little bit about these boats. I mean, these boats are 13 meters long, and they weigh 3.5 tons. So they're big boats. They seem very small and narrow when you get these onboard cameras. I guess the camera always distorts a little bit about the view. I mean, it's not very
narrow.
wide.
It's for 9. You see, they are. Sometimes you hit each other because elbow is flying somewhere. So you are close to each other, but it's a big boat.
A lot of action going on during the giant.
It's a big boat. They're all on top of one another. Well, I guess they're 9 also.
So first one.
So are we getting down? Here we go. Yeah. So the kites are coming down. They're at the leeward gate, and it looks like Argentina is going around first.
Yeah.
And they've decided to take that right-hand side.
Argentina
and they moved the mark. It looks like there is a rib showing a flag. It was green, so probably they moved to the
Charlie
left,
Green
no?
confirmed. That's what I get
to the
from Race Info. So we have a change in the following leg.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Green.
Maybe the wind change. There
we go, Charlie Green.
Yeah, to the right side. So they needed to adapt the mark, or that's normally the only reason. And as we can see, most of the people took the left gate.
Yeah.
So there was maybe a right shift. So now they gain a little to the ones on the left, to Oman.
Yeah. And what is interesting now, which is they take the left mark at the bottom gate, and then now immediately just afterward they tack back to cover the spot and to be on the good side.
Yeah, or to sail as well as long as possible in the right shift. It's like if it would change back to the left, then you are on the left side, and you.
Yeah, because I mean, so that's what we saw, right? That's what Charlie was telling us. That means Charlie means change of the course, and with the green, we know that it's turning to the right. Obviously, if it turns far to the right, so that means you'd be on a port tack. You're not actually going towards the mark at that point.
Yeah.
So they decided to take the left mark on the gate.
Yeah.
And then in order to be able to tack directly afterwards, in order to go towards the mark.
Yep.
So they're on the correct side.
They are on the correct side, but I think if there is any shift happening or something, then it's difficult to be on the good side.
Yeah.
And normally, as we saw the last few days, left was already always a bit better than.
So Oman is tacking. They're going back on the right.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw yesterday with Hungary crossing from the right to the left and coming back and qualifying themselves for this afternoon's final.
Yeah.
So Oman knows there's a right shift. So
For sure,
everybody's going to the right.
The guys are quite aware about this because yesterday this is what happened during the race, and I think they are also anticipating before, because if any right shift happening, they have to be on the good side to take it well.
Yeah, so we will see, because I think in our race was a bit different. So Estonia and Argentina were in our fleet, and I would not say that the right was paying that much at that point. So we'll see what they decide.
Yeah, I can see on the tracker that the mark has actually been moved. I mean, the length is still around 2 kilometers, so we're about. The wind, the strength of the wind hasn't really changed, because we're still at the same amount of distance. But we see that the mark has changed. We're looking at maybe a 200-meter change to the right.
Okay, that's a lot.
So yeah, that's quite a bit. So really, the wind has turned right quite a bit.
Yeah.
So here we go. So it's still very late, and we've got Israel has decided to take the right. Is all the way far on the right. Oman has crossed behind Argentina and Estonia.
Yeah.
And they're still going off to the right.
Yeah, probably the game is now a bit between Argentina and Estonia.
Yeah.
I mean, the others have still contact as we see. The meters are not. It's not a lot of meters between them, so it's still an open game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the boats that are on the right, with Israel and Oman being on the right-hand side, which is the correct side for that right-hand shift. Like we said, right-hand shift, you want to be on the right-hand side.
For sure.
So we've got Argentina and Estonia. Yes, they are in front, but not by much. I mean, we're talking about maybe they have a 70-meter lead over Oman and Israel, but they still have to tack.
Yeah, they have one more tack to go, and then what is interesting, what's going to happen after the tack, because if they have the advantage from Oman, then Oman will be back in the race, and with Israel on the right side, so they think
that's right, because when Argentina and Estonia are going to tack, they're going to be on a port tack. The others are going to be on a starboard tack.
Yeah, so I think they have a right of way as well.
Exactly, and I mean, are those 70-80 meters lead that they have now, is that going to be enough to pass in front of them to keep the lead?
I think that's going to be very close racing, and I think if anything happen afterwards, it's going to be very close.
Yeah, so that's really that's sort of what we're waiting for right now. We're waiting to see if that lead is going to be enough to be able to pass in front of Oman and Israel. It looks like Oman has just tacked underneath Israel.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, Oman is in a very, very good spot. They can go into that high mode, and they can squeeze Israel out.
Yeah, I think which is what's happening already now. They started to squeeze it with Israel, and probably they have a good speed as well. So I think it's going to be interesting to see afterwards.
Oman is in a very, very, very good spot right now, tactically speaking.
Estonia
just
so we will see what happened between Estonia and Argentina.
Yeah.
Because probably Argentina will tack on them, but we will see.
There we go. Yeah, Argentina is racing there. Yeah. So there we go. We have Oman and Argentina, both leeward boats. Both have the advantage. So Argentina has the advantage over Estonia, Oman over Israel, and now we're going for the cross.
Yeah.
What's going to be happening?
For me, it looks like a clear cross from the left side. The angles are crazy in this
Those angles are crazy. It looks like they're going parallel to one another.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks from this angle that
at the moment, for me, it looks very close.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah,
this is crazy. Is Oman going to be able to take the lead right here? Everything right now is going to be decided on this. I mean, and if they have to bear away, if Argentina needs to bear away, they got to bear away behind two boats.
Yeah.
Now Israel tacked away, so it's just one boat coming from the right.
It's looking like it's gonna pass.
Yeah, but it will be now interesting what happens tactically, what they are doing to Oman, if they decide to just cross and leave them alone on the left side, or if they decide to cover Oman, because probably they like more, or probably they like more the left side. So
they still need to go to the right hand side.
Yeah, so like they are kind of in the middle of the course
and
now.
Both boats pass. Yeah. So Oman definitely made up some ground there.
Yeah, look. So
are they going to protest?
Are
they going to protest?
Yeah, it's red flag from Oman.
Is it?
I saw a red flag.
You saw a red flag? So let's talk about that real quick. So it looks like Oman had to bear away because they might have hit the back of the boat of Team Estonia. So that's a protest. Here we go. The jury boat is on the left. We'll see what happens. I don't know if they've already taken a decision. So when Oman puts the red flag up, that means I protest.
Yeah.
Now the jury is going to take a decision, and obviously there's some discussion going on there. It looks like the jury saw what happened, and I think he's already given the decision.
Yeah.
So basically, if he puts up a green flag, it means nope, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Keep sailing.
Yeah.
If he puts up the red flag, that means okay, there's effectively a penalty, and they have to do one tack and one jibe.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if it's a black flag, that means they're eliminated because the penalty was so dangerous, so bad that.
So probably it was
eliminated.
a green flag. We didn't saw, but.
I think looks like it was a green flag for sure.
Yeah, it looks like it because the jury was saying, yeah, I saw what happened. And they're like, come on, man, you saw what happened.
But what is interesting and nice from this event, it's the jury are close with the contact. So if any close situation happened, they are deciding very quickly.
Yeah, and I think there are 4 jury boats, so they are able to be on the, because it's hard to be on the right spot for the jury to see what really happens. You need to be on the right spot to see it.
Yeah.
So, but with 4 boats, it's kind of possible to manage it well.
Yeah, that means you'll have, for example, you'll have a boat which is at the buoy, making sure no one is touching the buoy as they go around.
Yeah.
You'll have another boat following them, making sure that when they have an overlap, that overlap is an actual overlap. And then 2 more boats, seeing what's going on tactically. So everybody's grouping up right here. That's not much into this.
Estonia lost kind of, because now it looks like.
Oh, big bear away from Oman.
But that's Argentina.
This is Argentina.
I'm not sure. No.
Argentina, yeah, looks like
no, it's Estonia.
Estonia, yeah.
And yeah, they're tacking on top of Oman right there.
Yeah, that's a good tactical move. So like they block actually Oman from tacking.
Yeah.
Ooh, but now it's coming Israel, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, they may have to. What's going on here? Because
Oh.
Oman has to tack, which forces Estonia to tack
as well. Yeah. So.
Because of the right of way from the Israeli boat that's coming in. So Israel going off to the right, taking kind of a chance by themselves, as now back into the game, and look at that.
Very.
And Oman again stuck in that position between 2 boats.
I think this is gonna be very.
That was yesterday's lesson. Get out of there.
Yeah.
So Israel is on a more or less perfect line.
Yeah.
So probably the 2 other boats need to attack as well.
Look at this. This is crazy. I mean, they're just nothing but tacking. I mean, we've seen like 4 or 5 tacks
on the same time.
And Argentina gets up to the top mark first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can stretch.
And
that's really, really helpful.
We see that pink buoy, and that's the color of the buoy. When the course changes, they put that pink buoy so that everybody knows the course has changed, so they don't all accidentally go to the yellow buoys that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
So here we go. So there is no dogleg on this one. So as soon as they get around, they've got to bear away and put that spinnaker up as fast as they can. And you see, spinnaker poles are already out there. There we go. It's a hoist. It's a 2-man hoist. Go, 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 boys. Go, 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 go. And it's up. Here you go. Here's Team Oman. You can see the grinders having a tough time. There you go. Pitman blocks the halyard.
Quite nice hoist from Team Oman as well.
That was
as you can
good
see,
hoist.
everybody very focused from the hoist. So that allows maybe the tactic and the helmsman to decide to see the pressure more and to decide for the next one.
Yeah, he's not looking inside the boat to see if there's any problems or anything. He can directly concentrate on making that boat go fast.
Exactly.
And attacking. At this level, it's just a question of a couple seconds. If you can get those 1-2 seconds to be able to luff a little bit and to cover your opponent a little bit, then all that is going to give you a couple meters.
Yeah. I think
as you're going down.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's all about good communication during the hoist as well. So rounding the mark, it's also a very important moment as well.
And now we see, tactically speaking, if you go up on the right, you should be going down on the left. And that's sort of what we're seeing Argentina do. They've put up their kite and they're just going on the left-hand side of the course. So we say the left-hand side of the course. We always talk about the left and the right as we're looking towards the windward mark.
Yeah.
So
only with the gate, it's sometimes struggling.
Sometimes it's the gate, sometimes it's the mark.
Yeah, that's true. We were saying the right-hand side. It could have been the left.
Yeah. But yeah, normally we're looking upwind. Yeah.
Exactly. So that explains right now why we have everybody that is currently taking that staying on the left-hand side of the playing field. But we're getting close to the ley line, and they're gonna have to jibe at one point. So now it's just gonna be a question of who's gonna jibe first.
Yeah.
And I think we have Oman jibing.
Yeah, so probably they try something. I mean, they are on the back of the fleet. If they just follow, it's hard for them to catch something, and maybe they try to get another gust or something like different than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something. If you follow the others, you're not going to pass them, right?
Yeah, it's hard. But now, Estonia jibed as well, and Israeli are the only ones like.
To me, Estonia did a good jibe afterwards, and I think they have a bit more pressure. As you can see, Oman is squeezing down a bit, so I think they have as well a bit more pressure now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you were saying before, right? The more you have pressure, the more you can bear away.
Exactly. And the easiest is to go down with the pressure.
And actually, it's looking like Oman is coming back here on Estonia. Look at the difference. You're just seeing the numbers drop on the left here.
Yeah.
And 230, 229, 228, 227. So there's wind, and that wind is coming from behind. So, like we said, the last boat, first one to the wind.
Sure.
And they're catching up. So it's not over. I mean, Argentina's got a good lead here. But if they don't have any wind, they're not going to be in the lead for very long.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the lead's going to be changing very quickly then.
Yeah. The only thing for me, what they can do to save a bit, like to try to go maybe a bit higher.
I agree.
Than the best VM sheet would be. So they get the gust earlier, what the gust from Oman probably have. So they maybe lose at the first point a bit, but they are sure that they are in between.
Keeping the lead.
Yeah, they are in between the finish line and the opponents.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and okay, I see what you mean. So by going up and trying to catch that new fresh wind, they
go
might
up and fast.
A bit faster mode.
Yeah.
Rather than to be hooked and VMG, then maybe you get rolled with the other boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hooked and VMG and getting rolled. I hope you guys you follow what's going on here, because these are technical terms.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know if I want to start explaining all this, but yeah, basically, the Oman boat is obviously has more pressure. They've got more wind, and Argentina can either decide to go up and get that wind, or to stay down and try to go directly to the finish. To the finish.
Yeah.
And if they do that, maybe Oman overtakes them, and that's what we call being rolled.
Yeah.
So that would be getting rolled.
Correct.
And VMG is velocity made good.
Yes, exactly.
Which is doesn't mean much, but what it does mean is very important in sailing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just the best time. Yeah, it's not that easy.
So yeah, for sure. So it looks like everything's calm, but the boats are cruising. I mean, look at that. There's a bow wave coming off of them.
Yeah.
If you look up in the front, I mean, the crews are stepping back. Number ones are coming back a little bit, and that's pretty funny because you know, we're on the southern part of the lake, and there's no wind over here.
No.
I mean, it's flat.
Yeah.
We're looking at the window.
But they went really, really far away from here. It's like in the middle of the lake of Neuchâtel.
So Oman just jibe now back.
And cross at the back from Estonia. So.
Yeah.
So they're coming back. They've got to come back. Estonia and Argentina, you think they're going to keep going and try to stay into that pressure and go to the ley line, or do you think they're going to jibe?
I mean, I think
and follow
Argentina,
Oman?
it's like just for them, it's just to keep the game as simple as possible. So not too much jibe. I mean, they have a good advantage, and they probably, if they don't do too many mistakes, they should win here. So. But Estonia, it's a bit a different game from them because they are in touch with
Because there's
Israel.
8 meters difference between them and Israel.
So maybe they can jibe again to like search the contact to Israel, to maybe jibe on them to give them bad air. It would be a possibility. But maybe they as well just keep the game as simple as possible and just one jibe and go to the finish. We will see. They're already super close to the ley line.
I think they will keep it very simple because
it looks like
they are almost going to the finish, so they try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, but now it will be interesting because Estonia will be not on the. They have no room to Israel, so no. No. Sorry, Estonia will have room on Israel when they.
And they're on the starboard tack.
Yeah, it's starboard tack, so it's gonna be interesting when they are close together and what will be the decision. But it looks like Estonia will cross easily in front.
Yeah, we're sort of lost for words here because it is very, very close, very intense. So many things can happen, and all they need is just one little puff, you know, and you could have a change, not in leaders, but I mean between Estonia and Israel. And there we go. Argentina has just passed.
Yes.
So they are in 5th place of the petite final. Congratulations, guys. That was a wonderful sail. That was absolutely exciting. That was a lot of tactics and strategy in that game.
That was very good at racing.
Very, very interesting. And now the other boats are coming in. So Israel, Estonia. Is Estonia going to have to do another jibe here?
Yeah.
They are going to have to jibe, and it's going to be so close.
Yeah, but
to me, Estonia looks crossed a bit earlier. Yeah,
there you go.
Yes.
Well done, guys.
It's super close. We didn't saw what happened before the finish. That they end up like opposite than before.
Yeah, I thought they were going to run into that motorboat.
It was very close.
And if they run into that motorboat, that's a penalty.
Sure.
So
and Oman, here we go. They just crossed. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're taking the last place, but it was a really good battle. At one point, they were up in front.
Yeah.
It was a bit close for sure.
An exceptional sail from the Argentinians, just getting it right at those very, very moments.
Very
I mean, keeping it cool. It was just unbelievable to see all those boats just so many tacks at that windward mark, and everybody was sailing so close. I mean, I think the boats were maybe 130 meters apart after, going up and down twice. What good racing it is, and just really wonderful. Here we go. We see the motorboat that's coming in the back, and the teams are going to change. And next up is going to be the grand finale the grande finale in French and the master finale in English. So anyway, Ali Al-Balushi, thank you very much for being with us from Team Oman.
Thank you so much, guys.
And Linda Farney from Team Switzerland. You're going to be very excited for the next race.
Yeah,
Switzerland is in the final. Thanks so much for being with us. Guys, stick around. The final is coming up in a couple moments. So we still get the final that's coming up in a couple moments, and we see that some of the boats now are already changing. That they're changing people. They're changing the teams. So the teams that we just had on board were Estonia, Argentina, Oman, and Israel. And the teams that are coming onto the boats will be Brazil, Switzerland, Croatia, and Hungary.
It was just 1 second.
That will be coming up. We're going to be showing you that information. And all right, and we will see you in a little bit for the final.
Minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4. a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the finals. Things are getting underway. Finals of this second week test event for the SSL Gold Cup. Joining me again this morning, Linda Farney from Switzerland. Linda was fourth in the 2021 Olympic Games on her 470. She's third place 470s at the Europeans in 2021. Linda, thank you very much for being with us again, and we're looking forward to this absolutely eventful finals.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see them fighting.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have Switzerland, which is going to be in the finals. Your team, obviously, Croatia, Hungary, and Brazil. Brazil won absolutely everything. Brazil has absolutely won everything, and we're going to be there. We go, and we've got Brazil, and these are the team captains. So Robert Scheidt with his 5 Olympic medals and his 12-time world champion. His boat winning absolutely everything, and that's probably the reason why he's 12 times world champion and 5-time Olympic champion. Behind him, we got Šime Fontela from Croatia. We have Zsombor Beric from Hungary and Eric Monat from Switzerland. Before we get back into that and we go into the live, we want to show you guys a couple of the national anthems. We'll be showing you Hungary, Switzerland, Croatia, and then Brazil in the order of the amount of points that they've racked up this week. So here we go for the national anthems. So that was the national anthem for Hungary. Coming up right now, the national anthem from Switzerland. And that was the Swiss national anthem, and now the Croatian national anthem. that was the Croatian anthem. And now our number one team winning every single race of the qualifying, Team Brazil. And welcome back. So those were the national anthems of the 4 teams participating in the grand finale. We've got Hungary, Switzerland, Croatia, and Brazil. And we're about to get this started. We've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds, or a little bit less than 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. I'm here with Linda Farney from Team Switzerland. Linda, we're about to get going on this very exciting final today.
Yeah. Now it's already 2 minutes, so they are already full on to put themselves on a good position for the start. So we will see what the different tactics will be.
So different tactics. I mean, we know it looks like the wind is about the same as before. We've got a 1.2 nautical mile course, which is the same length as we had before. That's about 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
And the wind is still around, it's at 265, and earlier this morning we were around 260. So they've moved the course a little bit, and we're now really in the middle of the lake, in the middle east to west and north to south.
Yeah, all the races before we were much more south than this, so it will be a bit different, so nobody really knows which side will be better, so we are like on the same page for everyone. So we'll see what they saw before the race, what kind of information they got and what their feelings are. So which side
we're
they will
into the
decide.
minute now.
Yes.
So 50 seconds left to go. We've got Hungary. I mean, we saw Brazil. They were the leeward boat. They're trying to keep their position right there. Remember, the starting line is between those 2 motorboats. There we go, Brazil. They're tacking over. They're slowing down. They're looking at their watches. They're probably going to ease off, slow the boat down. See, they're not letting anybody pass underneath them. So they're definitely looking to do exactly what they've been doing all week, accelerate off that line. They got 20 seconds to the start. They've got to kill some time. And look at that. The boats are stopped. And they're very close to the line. Oh, that is very, very close. 10 seconds left. They have to bear away.
So it's going to be
7 seconds. It's going to be very, very close.
So I think everything will be fine.
2, 1, and up they go.
Wow. It was
that was very close.
Tight start for everyone, but I think as far as I saw, nobody was over. Switzerland went in the last second, I think, a bit down to be sure that they are not over.
Yeah, but Switzerland actually had some room underneath them, even though they started in the middle of the line. Yeah. Because those 2 boats were early, because that Brazilian boat was early, they had to bear away, and they left a big opening for Switzerland to just get in there.
So it's a good position actually for Switzerland, so they they are a bit free to go for their mode, so to be fast or to go high. As well for Brazil, they are as well on this free to decide what they want, and on the other hand,
Hungary is now tacking
and
over.
As well, you see Croatia.
So
they need
Croatia.
to tack away because they are
being squeezed out.
Yes.
Yeah, Brazil was squeezing out Croatia, and Switzerland was squeezing out Hungary, making them both tack and go to the right. And now Switzerland has just got to make sure they keep it high and fast, and they don't get pushed out by Brazil.
Yeah. So
So, I mean, we haven't done, 200 meters in this race, and we've already have boats being pushed left, right, and center.
Yeah. So
Here we go, Switzerland attacking.
As well.
See Eric Monin right there, captain of the team.
Yeah.
He's with the white sunglasses in the back. Notice how the whole team, everybody moves up together.
Yeah.
We have the grinder number 14 there. Metro.
It's normally Nelson Metro. I think, yes, he was the full week, our grinder. So maybe he's a bit tired.
Okay, and that was super exciting. But now, let's go back and let's look at the replay of that start, and we'll look at Team Switzerland here. We noticed that Team Brazil, Croatia, they have to bear away. Team Switzerland all of a sudden decides that 5 seconds behind. They've got a little bit of a gap, so they can push up, squeeze Hungary out, bear away, get some speed, and then bam, there they go. And everybody got a pretty good start. Obviously, Croatia and Hungary, those are kind of the two losers of the start,
yes.
being squeezed out by Brazil and Switzerland.
Exactly.
And we see that. Look at the tracks. You can really see the tracks, and then all of a sudden getting some speed. So it looks like Brazil is still choosing to go on the left-hand side. There we have Kahina Kunz and Martin Grail. Those two ladies right there, they sail together on the 49er FX, and they won the gold medal at the Olympics this year.
And as well in Rio, so they.
As well as in Rio, so that's
super crazy.
And there we go. That's the team captain right there, Robert Scheidt, 5-time Olympic medalist, 12-time world champion. And Henry Boning, Magila as they call him, right there in the middle. He's the powerhouse of the team. I mean, you can tell he's just twice as big as all the others.
Yeah.
Generally, they need 2 people to hoist the spinnaker and take it down. Well, not on Team Brazil.
He's doing it by himself?
He did it yesterday. He did it by himself. Well, the others were supposed to try, but he was too fast. They couldn't keep up.
Yeah, that's really hard for it sometimes. So it looks like 3 boats decided to go to the right, and just Brazil went a bit more left. So we will see which side is paying more. And actually, Hungary, it's at the moment looks like they are in the lead, so the most right boat. But it's everything pretty close. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, right? I mean, if the Brazilians are going left, I mean, there's a reason. We saw them do this all week long.
Yeah.
Everybody was wondering why they were, going off by themselves, and it was paying. I mean, and this would make sense if the wind is shifting left. Hungary right now, because they attack so early, they would be slightly in the lead. If you take the line, to the weather mark. But as soon as they're going to attack, you're going to see a really big difference, because they are going to have to attack and come back. Right now, they're about in the middle of the windward beat, and Brazil is slightly on the left-hand side of the playing field here. And it's right now. I mean, it's quite close. There's not much in there.
No.
Hungary knows that they've really got to go fast, because if they attack right now, they're gonna fall behind Croatia and Switzerland.
Yeah. Now it's maybe more a speed game. I mean, now they are not doing a lot of maneuvers, so it's more like they try to go as fast as possible. As we see here, they are trimming a lot the sails to adapt to the wind speed and to.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny. Look, if you look there are 3 lines on that boat. So the guy in the back right there, he's on. There's a winch. You can't see it, but there's a winch in the middle of the boat, and he's trimming the main sheet.
It's it's Fantella, the brothers from Shime. It's Miho.
Yep.
Yeah, Miho. So he's sailing 49er with his brother.
The guy that's just in front of that, he's holding on to the jib sheet. There we go. He's taking it off, and he's gonna go back and grab it on the other side. You saw that?
So now it changed a bit. So Switzerland, yeah. So Hungary tech, Switzerland tack under, and I don't know where Croatia went, but I think they cross. Yeah, so they tack windward to this group. So it's again a bit the same situation we had just before, but now on the other side. It's probably more a speed game now, and we will see how Brazil will cross with just 3 boats. At the moment it looks like they are behind, but I think it's far away from each other, so yeah.
It's looking like they're a little bit behind. Yeah.
A bit behind. Yeah, here it look, but it's still far. So small shifts can change the game completely, and sometimes we saw as well here in the trainings that you think that you cross, and in the last 3 seconds you need to decide that no, you don't cross, so you need to undertack. So it's open game, and especially they are still close together. It looks like Switzerland is going a bit higher than Hungary. So they gain a bit.
It looks like they're a little bit of more in a high mode.
Yeah, maybe because they are leeward and they want to
squeeze them out.
Yes, it's all about squeezing.
It's all about squeezing everything they can get out of this boat and to try to squeeze their opponents out of the way. I mean, right now Hungary is in a very, very difficult position. They've got to stay in between those 2 boats. It doesn't look like Switzerland is having too much of an effect on them right now.
No, I think they are but still it's as well mentally it's not easy to stay in between 2 boats. It's just not. You know that the windward boat is coming and the leeward boat is as well, so you need to work hard for this position.
Yeah, and speaking of mental game in that, I mean, it's the skipper who's in there, and he's getting information. His crew is letting him know: is he going faster? Is he going higher? Does he have more speed? And that's something that's very important for the skipper to know all that information relative to the other boats, to know, am I going faster? Am I going a little bit higher? And that's how he can keep his concentration, because if he knows that he's going higher and faster, then he's going to be a little bit more calm. As soon as they tell him the opposite, he's going to start getting very worried.
Yeah, it's the not easy game from the tactic to filter or to say the good information to the skipper that he's feeling relaxed and confident to sail the boat fast. And now we just see Brazil cross all the 3 boats, not far, but at least 2 boat lengths behind. So and I think they tack already a bit windward to them. So everyone is going closer to the left ley line.
They're not going to go leave Brazil on the right-hand side, because we are getting closer. Now, they've done about 3/4 of the way up the windward beat, a 2.2 kilometer windward beat, and Brazil is on the right-hand side, so it's kind of changed things up again, and Croatia is not letting Brazil go by themselves on that right-hand side. And we're looking at another cross now between Croatia and Brazil. Croatia should pass in front relatively
probably
easily.
I don't know what their plan is, or if they cover the Brazil, or we'll see what the Croatian will do with the
Switzerland
Brazil.
And Hungary are now getting. Look at that. That's the ley line.
Position for Switzerland, because actually now they are ley line, so.
And they want to attack. They can't.
So they do.
There we go. So the other boat has tacked. So Hungary tacked, and that allowed Switzerland to tack, because Switzerland could not tack.
Yeah.
They'd be port tack, and they couldn't make a starboard tack.
They were blocked at that position.
So Hungary is currently in a more powerful position.
Yeah, probably Switzerland went, because of Hungary, a bit over ley line. So now they need to try to go fast to close this game.
Yeah, what Switzerland really needs to do now, because they're over ley line, they need to, when they get to the weather mark, they need to have that overlap. If they have that overlap, then they're going to have room at the mark.
Yeah, so they will be inside, they can round inside, and if not, they need to go around Hungary. And then it will be a problem as well. Croatia will come, so everything pretty close, and it's going to be interesting windward mark, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And that doesn't mean that if they are overlapped over Hungary, that they have right away over Croatia.
No.
I mean, Croatia will be starboard will be on starboard, and they will have the right of way. Looks like Brazil now is in that unfavorable spot of sort of having some disturbed winds off of Croatia and the two boats. Maybe there's enough distance.
I think they are fine. I think they need to now to play the game because they are a bit back, but they can still be as close as possible to the ones in front, so they can attack on the downwind or even on the upwind mark, because probably the other three will struggle together.
Well, let's see what happens between on that dogleg, because Brazil is they're just sitting back there. They're just waiting for those boats to start battling with one another. I mean, if those boats have got to do a double tack or something, or they've got to do a whole bunch of movement, they're going to lose a lot of speed real quick. And Brazil is just going to be right there, and they're going to overtake.
So Croatia attack, and I think they are Leyline and first. So
and Switzerland did not get that overlap. So
no, they will. Normally they should round third. I think Brazil will not be close enough to be in front, but it still can change.
Yeah, it looks like we're definitely going to get Croatia, Hungary, Switzerland, and Brazil. They're all going to follow one another, and it doesn't look like there's too much of a. It doesn't look like there's going to be too much of a battle up here. Everyone's sort of falling in. We'll see Switzerland coming into the picture here very soon and tacking.
I hope they attack. Yes, they are.
Just in front of Brazil. So as long as they've set their sails, then Brazil can't put up a protest flag.
Yeah. So everything is super close together.
Everybody's
you see
looking
here,
at
like,
one another.
I would be nervous.
Yeah. So Brazil is. They don't want to go leeward of Switzerland, because then they'll lose their wind. If they go too much windward, and Switzerland is going to luff them, and if those two start doing that, they're just going to lose a whole bunch of distance between Croatia and Hungary. So we've said it before. You gotta. There's no point in winning the battle if you can't win the war. So.
Yeah.
So now here we go. Now they're getting down towards they're on the dogleg. They're about to go up. There's Magila. There you go. He's about to put up the spinnaker. Now he's put it up. He's already put it up by himself.
Oh, and Switzerland just chiped away. I don't know why. Oh, they struggle a bit with the chip. It looks like.
Oh, looks like they had a little bit of a hard time there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were overruled by Brazil. I could not see. Or if they see some more pressure on the other side. It actually looks really light pressure at the moment.
Yeah, it looks dark over there on that right-hand side.
Yeah, it should come rain, but I don't know when. I don't.
Well, we are physically in that darker area, and it's not raining here so far. So, but it does look like they're getting some more pressure.
Yeah, but everything is super close together.
And we're looking, I'm seeing the race info now. We might be getting a Charlie Plus, which means change of course longer.
Longer, yeah.
But we don't know that yet. That's going to be confirmed. But that's what's happening with the race info. So we might keep the same wind angle, the same direction for the course. Just make it a little bit longer. We've got a nice split now.
Yeah. So two boats, Switzerland and Brazil, decided to chive away and to play the left side on downwind.
There we go, Croatia right there. There's Shime, Fontella. Look at him. If we can look at Shime, just keep an eye on Shime for a little bit. He's got that. He's looking into that little round thing right there, and that's a compass, and he's trying to figure out what angles he needs to be going, and he's talking to you can see that he's talking to his helmsman right up there and deciding, when are we gonna jibe, what should we do. There we go. See, he's looking into that, so he's trying to figure out what the angles are and when should they tack. And if you actually look on the boats, on some of the boats, they have some lines that are written on the boat, and that gives them the angle. So because not everybody has that, obviously they can take it along with them if they want, but not everybody uses that in order to figure it out. And there we go. Everybody very concentrated. it doesn't seem too heavy because he's pulling back on the spinnaker sheet here, all the way down on the bottom.
I think, as far as I understand, I can see, I think they take actually quite a lot of risk, because now the other three boats chiped away. They are the only ones left on their this side.
Yeah,
so I think they feel a bit the pressure from behind.
They're the only starboard boat, yeah, and they're getting closer and closer to that right-hand ley line.
And it was interesting, before we could see that Shime actually is trimming the main on downwind. So I think that the reason is that all the crew can go even more forward, that the weight is more forward, because in this light wind we try to go forward as much as possible with the weight. So
yeah, definitely it's light wind. I mean, look, there's nobody grinding, and the guy who's the Jenniker trimmer, spinnaker trimmer, he's by himself. He's just pulling it by himself. So there's not that much pressure in there.
No.
And the reason we want everybody to go forward, let's explain that just real quick, is that just like in a car, just like in a race car, you'll have drag from a big wing, a big spoiler in the back. Well, it's the same thing on a boat. If the back end of the boat is dragging into the water and pulling all that water, the boat is slow. So we want to get that transom out of the water by having the crews move more forward.
And it makes a huge difference. We felt that you can think that this big boat is not that influenced by the weight of the crew, because the boat is super heavy. I don't remember the number.
3.5 tons.
Yeah, I mean, and the crew weight, it's about around
680, 700 kilos, something
so,
like that.
but the crew weight makes a big difference where it's placed on the boat. So if you place or at least 500 kilos more in front, it's already a big gain for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really important. And then when the wind picks up, then we have everybody move to the back and give it a little bit, stabilize everything. So, and that's also why you're seeing the teams when they're tacking, they're moving from one side to the other, because that has a lot of influence. I mean, when all the boats are exactly the same, you're going to want to get everything you can in order to make that boat go a little bit faster. And if that means that everybody moves together and is in unison, moving to the other side of the boat, you're going to have that righting moment. You're going to get that little push. You're going to get that little advantage that maybe the others didn't manage to get.
So we just saw Switzerland chiming, and they look actually really, really good. They crossed Brazil. They were third on the windward mark, but we will see how the cross will be with Hungary and Croatia, because on our screen it looks really good for Switzerland. So they gain on their side. So it was a good decision to chipe early and to play this side. I don't know, it was probably more pressure. It's hard to say from here.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to say. I mean, we did see Croatia that was just insisting on going down on the left side of the race course. And it just doesn't look like there's very much in it. I mean, 22 meters in Croatia, 100 meters back. I mean, everybody's coming together. Now, what is Croatia going to do? And this is interesting, because for us, we could start making tactics and figuring out, are they going to go up on the right-hand side? Are they going to go up on the left-hand side? I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're going up on the left or on the right?
For me...
What would you do?
I would take the left gate, looking downwind, and then round the gate and look what happened with the wind. And I would prefer a bit more the right, because I felt now on downwind there was more wind on this side. And actually now it's super interesting that Brazil crossed Switzerland just behind, and now they are gaining even more on this left side.
So you think there's a little more pressure on that?
Yeah, because it's crazy how it looks like they gain a lot, the Brazil, but now they are maybe over ley line.
Yeah, they're over ley line.
So, and now the next cross will be Croatia and Switzerland.
They're over ley line on what we see, but it doesn't look like they're actually over ley line when you look at the angle of the boat. It just kind of looks like we've gotten a right shift.
Or the wind is so light that the angles are like just much more open. I didn't saw the cross from Croatia and Switzerland, but I think Croatia just made it in front. Yes, they are still in front of Switzerland, so they may get as well a bit more pressure than before. So
they've tacked less. They also have tacked less. They have one tack less.
Yeah. So I think now on the boat it's like they talk for sure about which gate we take. So and what's then the next step after the marks to do. So I think it's really intense now on the boat with the communication to get, and as well it's super hard to
and
get.
We know something that they don't know. I've just been confirmed. It will be a Charlie Plus, so change of course.
Yeah.
Plus, meaning it's going to be a longer course. We're looking at 1.5 nautical miles, as opposed to the 1.2 nautical miles.
Okay.
So I think what they're trying to do is, that means two things for me. That means either there's a little bit more wind that is actually coming in, and they're planning for that. This is also the finals. I mean, we don't want this to be over in half an hour.
Yeah.
Everybody
And
wants
now,
to see their team win.
because they put it longer, it's still a long way to go. It's not even the half race, so it's still a long way to go, and it's super close, and that's really nice. Nobody is far in front, nobody is far back, so the fleet is super close.
And we see they've got a little bit of angle. It looks like a little bit of a wave is coming through, and you're right. It looks like there's a little bit more pressure on that right-hand side. It's funny when you look at the guys that are steering. I mean, some of them are very cool and relaxed, and you were just seeing Eric Monin, the captain of the Swiss team, right there. I mean, he looks like he's in a race car.
He is in a race car.
So here we go. Croatia just dropped their spinnaker. Now, they've dropped it pretty early. Let's keep things relative here. But and they're going back up. Like you said, everybody.
So Brazil have overlap with Switzerland, so they need to let them in.
So Switzerland needs to let them in, and Switzerland, make sure you don't get that spinnaker in the water. Come on, boys. What's going on?
So
now Brazil is going to lose quite a bit of speed here.
Yeah.
Because they had to turn so hard. And you see Switzerland now is going up because they have the right to do that. They can luff that windward boat, and they're making Brazil tack over.
Yeah.
So Switzerland, even though they were at a disadvantage, they managed to make Brazil tack over.
Yeah.
Brazil decided, I'm not losing any more speed, and they're tacking over. Now Switzerland's bearing off and getting that speed again.
Yeah. So now we see that Croatia didn't went far right. They took the left mark.
They must have been listening to what you were saying.
Sailed a bit, and they tack. So we'll see how far Switzerland and Hungary will go.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, Linda, to have you here, in the commentary booth, because you are the skipper of your boat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is the sort of stuff you do all the time. Tactics is
on the 470, Maya, she's actually sailing. We saw her sometime. We are pretty clear in who is doing tactics at which point of the race, and she's doing tactics on upwind of the upwind.
Yeah, because Maya Siegenthaler is your crew.
Yes.
And you guys sail together, and that's you went to the Olympics together.
Yes.
She's sailing on the Swiss boat right now.
Yeah. See,
and you're stuck here with me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we decided there are too many skippers on a boat. So she's
too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
So she's doing tactics on upwind, and me doing tactics on downwind, and we change on upwind. I'm more responsible for the speed of the boat, so I'm trimming the boat, looking that the boat is fast, and opposite on downwind she's responsible for the speed of the boat. Right,
okay, that's interesting. Okay, you changed then.
Yeah, but for sure we discuss a lot together, but we are more in the way that we are asking questions to each other, so we ask, do you saw the other boats, someone is responsible, but the other can still ask questions and
Yeah, and
each
and
other.
this is and I was talking to the Brazilian team, and this is what they were saying, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Is that there are so many people on that Brazilian boat that have got an unbelievable resume, and there are, I think there's 7 Olympic medals on that boat right now, if I'm not mistaken, and and I mean, how do you make that decision? Because everybody is used to sailing by themselves or with just one other person, and now there are 9 people on that boat, so somebody's got to make a decision, and it's not easy, and I think this is the real big challenge. I mean, yeah, we've got all that. Oh, there goes the line into the water.
He was fast.
Quickly get it back. And so they've this is the what makes it complicated for them. This is the new challenge for them. Obviously, they're all very good sailors, but this is a brand new format, and this race format is brand new as well. I mean, they qualified for the finals, but right now it's not an accumulation of all the scores they've had over the week.
No, it's just first wins.
If Brazil has clearly won the whole entire week, they've won every single one of their races, but if they finish 4th today, they're 4th in the standings.
Exactly, and I think that's unusual for us sailors, because normally we fight a week for the points, and then the special thing is the medal race, but you keep the points from the medal race then to the finish. So, and here it's like you fight 4 days, 5 days, 4 days, 5 days for the final.
7 races.
Yeah, 7 races, but you don't keep the points. So it's again a open game, and I think we kind of need to get used to this format, because I mean the pressure is then double on the final race. Yeah,
and it makes it exciting. I mean, it makes it super exciting for you guys, the viewers, because unlike classic sailing, where you pretty much know who's going to win because those accumulated points carry on until the end. Here, no one has any points. They all start from 0. So whoever's going to win this race right here is going to win the second SSL test event. Yeah. And we're going to have one more test event that's going to be happening this year in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks,
just to make sure everything is ready for that big final for the SSL Gold Cup, which will be happening in May, June next year, right here on the same boats, on the same lake. We're just making sure that everybody understands what they need to do. Yeah. And then it'll be
and as well to get used to this format, to be all together on a boat too. Everyone needs to find his position on the boat.
Yeah, and we've had teams this week. Some of the teams have been switching. I know Switzerland has been switching a lot. And other teams haven't switched.
Yeah, I think Croatia, they didn't switch. They came with 9 person, and everyone was like everyday sailing. I don't know if everyone every time on the same position.
I mean, I saw yesterday Miho, that number 7, Miho Fontella there, who you just saw him jump into the boat, and he's the mainsail trimmer. Yeah. He's been mainsail trimmer. I mean, when I went and talked to the guys this morning, they knew what everybody's role was going to be. I mean, it was very clear who's doing what on that boat.
Yeah. But for us,
look at everybody hiking. Look at that.
Yeah. So there is a bit more pressure.
There's definitely more pressure, and if you're looking at the main sheet track right there, you can see it's in the middle of the boat. So
yeah, so
they're
already
working
tried.
hard.
They are not really searching for pressure because maybe there is already enough pressure to depower a bit the boat.
Yeah, everybody hiking hard. I mean, this is it. This is the time right now to be going fast. They're up in 2nd place.
Yeah, so they decide to go a bit more left than Switzerland and Hungary, I think, both.
They're on the left-hand side. Yeah. Croatia is just above them. And now the big question they're asking themselves is, do we go to the ley line or do we center ourselves back and dive behind Croatia? And they know that Croatia, if they do that, Croatia is going to attack and just attack on top of them.
But for me, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a hard decision. What do you do?
Or, I mean, no.
And if the pressure's on the right.
Yeah, but I don't think that they go until the ley line. They need to be really sure that the left one is left side is paying if that they go full on already ley line. I mean, they don't know if they cross at the moment or not, the other two boats, especially Brazil.
Well, what we do know is that the track, the mark has just been prolonged. We're still on an angle of 265. 265 was the middle of the race course, and that's the direction towards the windward mark. And it's just been prolonged for 0.3 of a nautical mile. So that's 0.3 times 1.852. So you do the calculations at home, and that's by how much it's been prolonged. And it's just kind of looking like everybody's going left again here.
Yeah.
And we were talking to some of the teams, and they were telling me that when the pressure starts going up, the wind starts shifting left, and when the pressure's going down, it starts shifting right. I mean, this was sort of the talk around breakfast this morning.
Okay.
Now, I heard this from several teams, from several different people. So that might be actually what's happening out there on the water.
Maybe it is like this. I didn't had it in mind like that clear. I always think like sailing on a lake is not that easy. Like you cannot put rules and it's every time like this, because on a lake you're like too much influenced from all the mountains, and here from the Jura it's super high. So it's not that easy that you can just put a rule and it's always like this.
Local knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Local knowledge. You heard it here. Linda knows all about this.
I don't know about this lake, but
You've been sailing on what, Lake Thun?
Yes, Lake of Thun. So we have a lot of mountains around, so we are used to have kind of strange things happen.
I've sailed there too. Strange things do happen in Lake of Thun. Yeah, lake sailing. It's not that easy. I mean, it's constantly changing, especially when we get these winds from the southwesterly. Yeah. And we've got a front coming in. It's supposed to rain, so for the time being, the rain has not come, and we can't. I'm looking outside the window. It's looking like it's not coming yet. So we're very, very happy. But there is something coming. So that's probably that might change a little bit. So we're about 3/4 of the way up here in the grand finale of the SSL Gold Cup Test Event number 2. We've got Croatia in the lead. Brazil is coming back from a 4th place. Switzerland and Hungary are tied for a 3rd place. Switzerland has been coming back. It's just been all over the place.
So now I didn't follow properly what happened, because Croatia and Brazil came back to cross the other boats, and I think they cross. So I miss a bit.
So what's going on here? We have
so Switzerland tag as well in the line of the Croatia and Brazil. Now the question is, are they already ley line or not? Because for me
that looks like a double tack from Croatia that we just saw right there.
Yeah, from Brazil. For me it feels a bit strange that Switzerland jibed away from Hungary, because they kind of locked this boat. But maybe they were in troubles to hold the line. So we will see now what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we did see that it was a little bit darker on the right-hand side. Maybe Switzerland just had enough of going off to the left-hand side and wanted to get back and center themselves. Croatia tacked again, so they're definitely playing the shifts. And I'm sure they're playing the shifts.
I think they try to.
And it looks like not just the shifts, but tactically they're also trying to get on top of Brazil and block them out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they will be getting up to that pink marker, and this is the last upwind they're doing. So right now, it's really important for Croatia to be able to make sure that Brazil does not go by.
So
they're just placing themselves between Brazil and the mark, and making sure that Brazil doesn't go by. Switzerland is back
away
there.
Because I think they were in a difficult situation with the other two. But now the game is on, so everyone is tacking again to the left side to Yeah, they try to block each other.
Oh,
actually.
look at that! Look at Robert. Look at Robert. He looks like the Swiss Swiss like Eric. They're both just so concentrated. You see that? They're looking down underneath the boom. They're trying to figure out what's happening. Here goes Switzerland. They're tacking over.
Yeah. It's again. I think it's less pressure than on the beginning of the speed. So we can see it's
Pretty light.
They are not hiking anymore. So it means there is for sure less pressure, and I think Switzerland lost a lot to Hungary. They were now a bit back to Hungary, and now it's again hard position for Switzerland.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier because obviously they're all getting up to the windward mark, so they're all getting closer and closer together.
Yeah.
And Switzerland being that most leeward boat right there, they're not getting any fresh air.
Yeah.
So it's just getting harder and harder for them.
And Hungary have free air, so we will see what happened. The strong point with Switzerland have, if they tack, they are starboard.
Yeah.
So that's the strong point they have. But if the others gain too much and they just cross, all the starboard doesn't help. So we will see. So, but Croatia is clearly leading.
Here we go. Croatia's they're laying the mark right now. There we go. That pink marker that we saw that prolonged the race course. Croatia's going around, so they're getting ready. And as soon as they get over there, it's bow down, spinnaker up. Look, you can already see the spinnaker that's coming up behind the jib. There we go. So bow down and go, 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 boys. Get that up. Come on, 2 people. There we go. We see the spinnakers. What's going on? No, is it in the water? Oh, what happened? No, it doesn't look like. I think it's good.
So
and
now
Brazil
we
is behind.
See the rounding from the 2 last boats, because it would be interesting which one is.
Kahina Kunz, gold medalist, right there. She's also sailing with Martine Grail, which is up front. She's helping the number 1. So again, that's a crew that's sailing together. So we got a couple crews in this competition that have been sailing this week together.
Yeah. So Hungary managed to just squeeze in at the mark, so they are in front of Switzerland. It actually happened that what we were talking about, that Switzerland lost too much and Hungary had free air. So we will see now the other two ones in front already jibed.
I can see some of those guys on Switzerland there breathing hard. I think they're having to work really, really hard, and it's really difficult. I mean, getting that boat to move in these light conditions. Granted, Switzerland is it's probably the team which is the most used to sailing in these lake conditions. I mean, this is where they all grew up.
Yeah, that's where we grow up. But for sure, everyone on the boat is as well used to sailing on the sea. But yeah, where you grow up and where you learn how to sail, it's still important part of the.
Yeah, and that's. But obviously, I mean, when you get to this level, these guys have just been sailing all their lives. All these guys on all these boats have been sailing all their lives, and it just makes it so difficult. Even though this is their backyard. It's these. I mean, you look at the Brazilians. This is not their backyard, but I mean, they're obviously proving that they know and they can deal with these light, shifty, difficult conditions. So we've got a split again, and this is the final leeward run.
Yeah.
And it's looking like Croatia right now is trying to stay in front. I mean, Croatia, team captain, Šime Fontela, doing a great job, and Tonči is at the helm. Tonči Stepanovic, those two. Those two are they know each other very well. They've sailed together many times, and they're very cool, very calm and collective. I mean, as we saw earlier, they were, they're calculating. They're definitely calculating and seeing what's happening. Look at the concentration of the helmet right there.
I don't know how much they trained before on the boat, but for me it feels like they improve a lot during the week. that they were like learning all week long, and I think in the end that what pays off, because it's not in this, especially in this format.
I mean, look at Shime. He's talking to Tanshi back there. You know, Tanshi's so concentrated at the wheel back there, just like all those helmsmen are, and the captain Shime just in front of him with the number 10. You can see him. He's looking around. He's trying to calculate the angles. There he is with his little compass, trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, Tanshi there. I mean, look at the concentration on that boat, and everybody else. If you look at them, they're all looking at their sails. They're talking. They're communicating. It's 100% concentration right there. Brazil looks nice, calm. Obviously, they're just as concentrated. But you could tell that it seems like they've got a little bit less pressure on their shoulders, even though they're trying to catch up and they want that first place. I mean, Croatia, you could tell they were feeling the pressure. Croatia.
Yeah, it's always like in the front. I think you feel always a bit more pressure, because there are the ones on the back they want to catch, and when you are on the back, you can play a bit the. For sure, you are hungry to gain to the front.
It's
but
easier to be the hunter than the hunted.
Yeah, I think yes. It depends a bit on the situation, but normally it's like it's easier to be.
Like
one boat
I mean,
length on the
I can
back
only
and-
imagine when Brazil is just breathing down your neck. I mean, you're not going to be very comfortable. But here we go. I mean, Croatia, they're still keeping their lead. They got a 50-meter lead, what it looks like, over Hungary. But Hungary's all the way on the other side. So, I mean, there could definitely be some... Oh, and we see in the background, that's Brazil jibing right there. So Brazil is jibing, coming back to the center. And Croatia is following along. Croatia can't let Brazil go by themselves. Croatia needs to stay between Brazil and the finishing line.
Yeah, it's like one of the big rules in sailing.
All right, Switzerland is jibed.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at Hungary, which is jibing again. So now everybody is coming back towards the middle. It looks as though the Swiss and the Hungarians are closer to their ley line.
Yeah, they are more
than the Croatians. So Croatia and Brazil have got a little bit more room to play because they're more in the middle of the regatta, in the middle of the playing field, and Switzerland and Hungary they're on their ley line.
They have a rope mess. I don't know what they did,
What's
but
going on here with Hungary? It looks like a big old knot.
Yeah, but they can sail, so it's fine. Someone needs to clean it up, but everything's fine.
Oh, was that the retrieval line or something? Or
I don't know.
A halyard? Maybe a halyard. Main halyard? Yeah, it looks like the pitman over there. You see the pitman over there close to the mast? And he's got those two winches. And all the control lines are coming back over there towards those two winches.
Yeah.
And so he's got a bunch of
job.
lines. Yeah, it's a very important job. If the pressure is not correct on those lines, and if he doesn't clean that up,
Yeah.
I mean, that was the very first thing I was ever taught when I got on a boat when I was a little kid, was clean this boat. Make sure that all
Yeah.
those ropes, there's no knots in any one of these ropes.
Everything is working properly. So we can see that I think it's like a game between Croatia and Brazil and between Hungary and Switzerland for the third place.
Yeah, it's looking tight, but it's looking... It's Croatia's gaining. I mean, they were at 50 meters. They're now at like 70. So
yeah, but they are bow forward, so they have clean air, but they are still in control of Brazil. So
yeah, they're definitely in control, and
But
it's climbing. I mean, look at that. We're up to 80 meters. So it's looking they're finding good pressure. We can see the boat is going much faster. But the concentration is still there. Just look at the helmsman.
he's as well in the race
He
car.
looks like a sniper back there. He's looking good communication. Yeah, so now we see that the grinder is back in play. So we definitely got a little bit more pressure because that means that the
people are moving back. It's
trimmer
again.
is not able to pull himself. There you go, cleaning those ropes up. Make sure that's not a mess down there. I mean, they don't have to hoist the jib up anymore. All they got to do now is get down to that finishing line.
Crossing the finishing line. So now it will be interesting where they jibe the Croatian. So and what Brazil actually will do on this jibe, because
Here we
now
go.
Brazil I think is jibing first. That would or they are both
simultaneous
together.
jibe.
So that's the only chance that Brazil can cover the boat in front, like Croatian boat. So we will see if it works or not, because it's about meters that you cover a boat or not.
Brazil right now is just trying to stay in between the wind and that other boat. They're just trying to block the wind going to the Croatian boat. And the Croatian is just absolutely concentrated there. Just look at that. There we see, Vitalic Steeper. He's right there with the number 5 down on the bottom with the sunglasses. And look, he's talking. He's asking for the grinder. Ulic Josip, number 4, the grinder. He's, come on, trim, buddy. Easing it out, and then
they now get a bit more pressure.
So he eases, and then he's gonna ask him to trim. And Ulic is just gonna jump back in there.
So now it looks actually pretty safe for Croatia, but still not finished.
93 meters, so they're still gaining. They've got some speed on that boat.
Yeah, it looks like they are fast.
They got some speed on that boat, yeah. And Switzerland is just dropping back. They're dropping back, but they're more in the middle of the field, which is going to make it harder for Switzerland, because they're going to have to bear away to get to the finishing line.
Yeah.
And if they bear away, that's going to be slower.
I think that Switzerland is in a strong position to Hungary, because when they jibe, they are on starboard, so they have right. They have rights, and at the moment it looks like a bit that they can sneak a bit down. They are going a bit lower angle than the Hungarians, so they are gaining on them. So we will see, and it's still the long.
There's still quite a ways to go. I mean, we are 2/3 of the way down. We're maybe 3/4 of the way down. And we're getting towards the finishing line. So Croatia and Brazil both still have to jibe to get to the finishing line.
Both jibed, actually.
They have both jibed now? Okay.
Not sure.
Maybe not Croatia. Brazil is definitely jibed. And we've got Croatia here on the right-hand side of the screen. There they go, and they just jibed.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're looking like they set themselves up. It's looking like Croatia might cross first, but it's not over. It's not over yet. Oh, making sure those battens change.
Yeah. It's not easy with light
not
wind.
easy. Yeah, it's not easy with light winds, especially on these boats. The sails are just so enormous. I mean, we were saying before, 70 square meters on that mainsail. That's a big mainsail. Most boats don't have spinnakers that big. And the spinnakers on these are 170 square meters. Here we go. Another jibe for Brazil. Look, you could tell Henry Boning. I mean, he's just going for it. I mean, they've still got the speed, but you could tell it's tough.
I think it was again they jibe on the same
jibe.
time.
It's just a matching jibe for Croatia. So it's a little jibing duel here. Croatia is not too far away from the finishing line. Oh, they're really having to battle. It definitely here a big battle between Croatia and Brazil. Hungary and Switzerland are still in the back, but there we go. There we go, Croatia. They've done it, and these are the winners of the SSL Gold Cup Test Event number 2. Wow, look. That's wonderful. That is great. What a great story. What a great story. Croatia was not the top-ranked team when they came over here. Croatia was actually the 7th ranked team.
Oh, really?
Oh no, I'm sorry. They were the 5th ranked team when they came over here, and they managed to get themselves into the finals today, and now they've won. I mean, this is just absolutely ecstatic. And congratulations, Brazil. Brazil, I mean, I'm
it's
sure
gonna
they're a
be
little
super
disappointed.
close.
But
Sorry that I need to interrupt you, but it's super close between Hungary and Switzerland, and Switzerland needs to jibe again, and Hungary.
oh, they're jibing, so they're starboard,
Yeah, they are starboard now.
and they're going to make the others jibe, and to make sure that
But-
they can jibe again just before the finishing line.
But I think,
Oh, what a tactical move.
yeah. Wow, I don't know who is first. I don't know.
Oh, that looks...
They left the spinnaker flying, so I'm not sure if it's the first. It's like spinnaker who is counting or the bowsprit. So no,
I believe that the new rules say that it's the bow of the boat.
so probably because of that it's Hungary.
It looks like...
But it's actually same timing, so I'm not sure if it's already.
Croatian is celebrating. What an epic final between Switzerland and Hungary. I mean, yeah. Tonchi and Shime, look at them. Good job, guys. Wow.
Yeah.
That is great. The winners of this 2021 test event number 2, the SSL Gold Cup.
Yeah, it was a really nice race.
That's a great race. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
That just makes sailing so exciting.
Yeah.
And that finish, I mean, that was a great finish between Croatia and Brazil. That little jibing duel towards the end.
And
but between Hungary and Switzerland, what a move!
What a move!
What a move! I mean, you know, the captain of the Swiss team, he's really an expert in that sort of stuff, in match racing. Yeah.
Yeah, so he really knows how to.
And it's great to see some of that match racing, you know, performance that they have, and you can see that here when they're really duking it out. I mean, they know they're fighting for third place, but
Yeah.
oh, it looks like they're disappointed.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, but I mean, are they
sure they
fourth
are
or are they
disappointed.
third? Do we have? Let me check real quick here and see if we got any info on that. The question is, who is third? We still don't know. It looks like a race committee is going to have to. To stature on that one.
Yeah.
So we still don't know who third is.
No.
That's how close it was. I mean, this is great. This is exactly what we wanted. The format is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now, you know, we don't know who third is.
We don't know.
We don't know because the boats are exactly identical. It's really up to the crews, and it makes this racing just absolutely amazing. Look at all these guys. You think they're all going to jump in the water at the same time or what?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a picture.
No, I think it's a big hola. Yeah, good job, guys. Beautiful. Great to see those guys. I mean, we got, you know, Shime Fontella, which is the captain of the team, Tonchi Stepanovic, Miho Fontella, Josip Ulic, Stiper Vitalic, Antonio Arapovic, Pave Pleslic, Marko Sortic, and Darko Hidignak. Those are your winners, ladies and gentlemen. Team Croatia, congratulations, boys. You beat the big boys. You beat the Brazilians. That's not easy. That's a big feat right there. You can understand how excited they are. Here's the replay of the finish, and being told Hungary finished in third.
Yes, it was just.
Oh, that was so close.
That was really close.
So Switzerland in fourth, Hungary in third. That's it. It's confirmed. So I see smiles on the Hungarian faces.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Swiss are probably not smiling quite as much.
No, but we are learning for next year. So.
Yeah, that's it. They've been switching it up. I mean, that fourth place boat has been switching it up all week, and they're just trying to put the right people in the right places, learning, obviously debriefing here. Yeah, we see everybody sort of looking down. I mean, obviously it's disappointing to finish fourth, but they did make it to the finals, and it was a really good race, and it made it really impressive for us. You know, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, it's the these boats are relatively fast. I mean, for the amount of wind that there was, I mean, they were just cruising, and everything is so close. The boats are.
That's the nicest part for me. I mean, it doesn't matter which boat you are sailing, but if the game is close and like everything can happen until the end, it makes it nice to watch, and it makes it as well nice to sail on a boat and like feel the pressure, but as well play with the pressure and go as fast as possible.
Go as fast as possible. VMG, velocity made good. That's what they've been trying to do, the whole way up the beat and the whole way back down on the leeward, on the run. We're seeing there. I guess they're starting to pack up now. They've still got quite a bit of a sail.
I don't know if they tow because here up or down the lake, up the lake, down the lake, we have no wind at the moment. Still no wind, so probably they will drop the sails and will tow.
Yeah, here in Grandson, where we are, there's absolutely no wind right now. There really hasn't been any wind all morning, but where they are, they've had some great wind. I mean, it was light at some points, but
I think it was not easy to do tactics on the boat to see where the gusts are coming, and it was for sure a lot about nerves and doing good decisions.
Yeah, for sure. So here we go. So soon we're going to have all the boats coming back over here, coming back for the final. They're making their way back up to Grandson, where they will be just outside the club, and there will be the podium ceremony. That's the next thing that's coming up. So spraying some this, with all that. Well, there'll be a whole bunch of champagne, and it'll be a big old party. So here we go. Here is your grand finale. The winners of this SSL Gold Cup Test Event number 2, Croatia, with team captain Šime Fontela. We saw him there checking a lot of times his little compass. Robert Scheidt, Brazil, he was at the helm of that boat. Berec Zambor is the captain of Team Hungary, and then Eric Bonin of Switzerland, which was also steering the boat. Yeah. Great job, guys. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that. If you look at it, I mean, 14 seconds between first and second place, third and fourth are tied. Apparently they did manage to figure out who was third and fourth, so that's a good thing. And here we go. The SSL Gold Cup provisional overall. So Croatia, Brazil, Hungary, Switzerland, and then Argentina, Estonia, Israel, and Oman. And that pretty much concludes the racing for today. So today was the petite final and the grand final, and we really hope that we're going to see everybody back again next year, because next year is the real Gold Cup. We've got over 50 nations that are going to be over here. We'll have more boats on the water. We'll have definitely a lot of racing. It'll be during the month of May and June, so we're looking at a good month and a half of racing, with all the qualifying is going to happen right here on Lake of Neuchâtel, and the finals will be over on Lake Geneva, in Geneva itself, for the final rounds of this SSL Gold Cup. So anyhow, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. Linda Farney from Switzerland, fourth place at the Olympics this year.
Fourth place at the SSL.
And fourth place at the SSL. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah,
it was very good fun. Thank you very much for your insight. I think we all really appreciated it. Any last words?
I'm looking forward for next year. It's going to be a hell of a battle, I think.
It definitely will be. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for watching us, and we will see everybody for the next test event, which is in 2 weeks. So we'll have a little bit more sailing before the major competition, and other than that, we'll be doing the big SSL Gold Cup in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and have a wonderful end of the day.
Minus 10, 9, have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start.